All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL playoffs brings us to the home of the Ravens. All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL playoffs brings us to the home of the Ravens. Sold out M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. Coming up, it's divisional round Saturday, and we've got an AFC battle on tap between the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. And that'll carry over the All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL playoffs brings us to the home of the Ravens. Sold out M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. Coming up, it's divisional round Saturday, and we've got an AFC battle on tap between the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. The first of 4 berths in the conference championships on the line here as divisional weekend in the NFL is underway.
Come on, fellas.
On first down, Huntley, and he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. They'll try the left side. Huntley, and he'll be brought down right around the 37.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Watch the ship. Watch the ship.
They'll run on 1st down. Huntley. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson flush to his right, and he's going to keep it here. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
Check pass. Check pass. 49. Check 49. 49. Showing up. Showing up.
And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
I'm going back to you.
From midfield now, here's Jackson. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in this paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? On first down, Huntley. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. Sheldon Richardson there to make the play.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Jackson throwing on target to Brown. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown, 33 yards, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Tucker with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
65. Hey, switch gear. Run. X3. 218.
A first carry now for Nick Chubb. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down. The CD a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
Now a throw here going to be taken in by the tight end Njoku. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
I'm coming after you. You got tight. You got tight right there. Hey, alert.
Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Good. 180. Regular. You. 555. Here we go, G. Get on. 5. King.
Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. They'll let it go deep for Beckham. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels. Brandon, you're never quite sure what the side judge or the field judge is going to rule there. That was awfully close, but in the end, he says it passed over the 1-yard line, and that's where they're going to mark it out. I mean, you can see it right there, right? See him walking up the sideline? Told him to stop right there at the 1.
Let's go, D. Let's go.
Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. And he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down. 12 yards the pickup there, good for a Raven first. So a little more space to operate now. 1st and 10 from right around the 12.
50's the mic.
Jackson taking a shot for Samuel. And that's caught inside the 35. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 58 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
They'll run on 1st down. Huntley. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And I think the Browns got it. They did.
Thank goodness for heaters up here. And thank goodness I don't have to carry the football in this game. It's January. It's cold out there. Trying to clutch the football and absorb the hits, not easily done.
Yeah, we saw a product of the elements right there. From the 40 now on 2nd down. Mayfield. And he fires one that's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. And this defense looking like they have come to play the pick 6, and just like that, it's 13-0 early on.
Well, go back with me to our training camp visits. What do we hear during these drills? Pass. Ball's in the air.
And then my favorite.
Oski. That's the interception. That means everybody finds someone to block them legally, stay on your feet, and they get it done. Touchdown.
The Browns drive about to get started. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first two drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
Back to it after the pick six, Mayfield. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21.
Here we go again. Hey, on 133. Check 55. Hey, box cut. Hey, let's get this.
Throwing, Mayfield. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Hey, alert! Hey, wahoo!
Third and long for Mayfield. And that will be incomplete.
They went with the dive look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Here's Jamie Gillandale as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
To throw again on second down. Jackson, he's going deep for Brown. That's going to be caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Hollywood Marquise Brown with his second touchdown here in this first half. As the Ravens push further out in front. Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And it's now 21-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep. The Browns drive about to get started. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Slam. Hey, on 133. Up.
Here's Mayfield. Eluding the pressure right. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
The touch and time are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
So line of scrimmage still to 39 on 2nd and 10.
Rylan, 64, weak. King. Check three. Run. Switch. Pistol. Hey. High 7.
Mayfield to throw it. Pressure comes and down goes Baker Mayfield. Matt Judon. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
Mayfield in this Browns offense staring at a 3rd and long now after the sack.
Hey, on 133.
Mayfield down. And he's going to go down again. Calais Campbell, he's the one to get him this time, and back-to-back sacks brings up 4th down.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And the punt goes out of bounds, so no chance to bring it back, and they will spot it at the 24-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And he's got his man, Marquise Brown. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Jackson now closing in on a 200-yard first half through the air. It's 1st and 10. Jackson into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 30, and he'll score. Touchdown, Browns. Now Steven Gostkowski on for the extra point. It's up, it's good, and that'll cut the lead to 21-7. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
Watch left.
On first down, Huntley. And he loses the football a second time.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Joker.
Now it's Jackson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Mayfield. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on divisional round weekend. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful divisional round weekend.
Point it right, point it right, point it right. Hey, Haywood.
Throwing again on second down. Mayfield. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line.
Offensively, when you see cover 2, the thought has to go through the quarterback's head. Drive the football when making throws. It's not just the deep guys covering. It's the guys underneath you have to be careful of. Drive your throw. Otherwise, you see what results? Interceptions.
They'll run on first down. Huntley, a pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
I can't believe that's a goal. Let's walk. Right. Check 36. Undercrush, undercrush, undercrush.
From the 31, Jackson. This will be caught by Brown. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Talk about a big first half. Already has the 2 touchdowns, adding to his receiving total there and picking up the first down.
He's coming off the line so fast. I think he's intimidating the defensive backs with his explosiveness, and he's chipping away at their confidence.
Jackson now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. Jackson from the shotgun. He'll buy some time right. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Jackson now on 2nd and 10, escaping the pressure right. He'll run it. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
Check, 93's the mic, 93's the mic. I'm trying to hit.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson flushed out right. Throwing right, and that's complete. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Situation, let's go. Alert 3, let's go.
From the gun, it's Jackson. Towards the end zone for Brown. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown saving his best for the playoffs with his 3rd touchdown of the game as the Ravens push further out in front. Tucker with the extra point and the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. And you have to figure they won't just sit on the football here in the final minute. The way things have gone, they need to try to make something happen offensively.
But maybe they should. Maybe they should sit on it here because of what you just said. They haven't made anything happen offensively. Getting ready to go into the half, give them a chance to take a deep breath, exhale a little bit, and start over. I don't know if this is the time to push it myself.
Yeah, right now under 100 yards of total offense. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Let's go.
Mayfield looks to throw. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. He was looking for Landry that time.
You're trailing, you're trying to get points late in the half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down. Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. Jackson will keep it, and he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson in the final seconds of the first half as the Ravens push further out in front.
And that's a lead that excites the team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook, but even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Browns drive about to get started. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
Win or go home, that's the name of the game, and we're back underway with the second half of this AFC divisional round. This is taken about 7 yards deep, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is
going to do that?
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on third.
Watch the twist. Watch the twist. Run. Pistol. Hey, zoom. 55. Hurry.
Now Mayfield. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Read it well, and it's picked. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Baltimore with good starting field position as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Here's a run on 1st down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But it looks like they're ready to go.
They'll keep it on the ground. Huntley. And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. And he's able to get more than half of what they needed. That brings up a 3rd and 5.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
50's the mic. 50's the mic. Hey, pick your game up. My 50, my 50.
From the gun on 3rd down. Jackson. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete. It was Jalen Mills getting a hand in there defensively.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Well, this is a guy who is already among an elite group of kickers that have hit from 60-plus in an NFL game, but that's a tough ask to try and get him to produce another one here.
You're exactly right. It's elite group for a reason, isn't it? No small feat for him to hit it from that distance. This one doesn't go through. I always marvel at those guys because it's the same approach every time, the same smoothness when they swing their leg. Doesn't look like they're putting anything extra even when they're kicking it for 60-plus.
Real. Hey, Charlie! Check Mike! Hurry! Good. Watch the twist!
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time.
Hey, alert 33. Hey, seam 6.
On 2nd down, Mayfield again. Pressure comes and down goes Baker Mayfield. Calais Campbell picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Hey, alert! Hey, Delta!
To throw, Mayfield. And they almost had another one. They are all over the football in this game. Nearly another pick. Now 4th down.
Well, we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Still just the third quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on 4th.
Run.
They're indeed going. It's Mayfield. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Derek Wolfe popping in for the sack. Well, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the second half.
And I get it. In this situation, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? You want to go for it here? We shut you down? They're over on the bench right now feeling great.
At the 34-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
They're going to need some therapy after this. Jim.
Here's Jackson to throw. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on third down. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of 1.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. Well, it's still a good-sized lead, so they haven't necessarily needed him, but this is now 2 missed field goals for him in this game so far.
Yeah, and the question now is, will he be prepared when they do need him? Whether that's later in this game or sometime down the line, having a kicker you can count on is definitely imperative.
And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. And again, it's Chubb. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. A run for Nick Chubb. And an alley to run. And he's going to be down close to a first down at the Ravens 38.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on third down.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. 1 quarter remains for the right to advance to the AFC title game. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
3 buzz. Tighten up. Pistol. Hurry.
On the carry, it's Chubb. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Check 4.
On 2nd and 7, Mayfield. He's going to look for Beckham in the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense is well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Mike, 55. Right there. Hurry. Exit.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
King.
Mayfield to throw for it on 4th. And it is Incomplete. The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down. And the Ravens are going to get the football back. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a third situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now, right at the 40.
Check, 93's the mic. Watch QB.
From the gun, Jackson, flush to his right. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Jackson. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 26. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Now it's Jackson. And it's caught. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. A 16-yard touchdown as his guys continue to pour it on.
So, my man, another touchdown. They're looking like the #1 seed that they earned throughout the year. Looking pretty dominant right now.
We knew the road to the Super Bowl would run right through this stadium. Somebody's going to have to come in here and beat these guys. Good luck. I don't think it's happening this weekend.
No, definitely not this weekend. And for anyone else out there, bring your game.
Buyer beware.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on 4, turned it over in their own territory, but the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the #1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it, not necessarily to not get the first down or to have the defense have to hold
But he
up.
trusted his defense.
Trusted his defense very much, and I think that's how he's going to play this game. Go for it, be aggressive, because I've got the wild bunch backing me up over here on my own sideline.
Now we'll see what his offense can do. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. Leaves them with 3rd and just a yard. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. Breaks the tackle. Now an alley. A big chunk of yardage there. 37 yards.
Well, partner, that's one of the problems when you sell out to stop the run on 3rd and short. Sometimes you break that initial wall and you go a long way.
So how do you prevent it?
That's tough to do. That really is tough to do. One of the things offenses like to do nowadays in practice, they do a lot of working against equal numbers. They'll start putting more and more numbers on defense and just telling the offensive guys, figure it out. Learn how to block it. We may see this situation.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning.
Watch twins.
And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. Matt Judon able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They run, chomp, and they're going to stop him short of the first down as he's tackled at about the 21. They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out.
Hey, exit. 55, 55.
Now Mayfield on 4th down. Now this is incomplete. The former first-round pick Marlon Humphrey there to get a hand on it. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't matter. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Jumpy on the right side of the line.
Sometimes when you're on the end, a little bit farther away from the ball, any type of movement will get you to jump, and that's exactly what happened there.
Maybe a critical mistake at this juncture is now they've got a 1st and 10. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
And on this play, the read for the quarterback was the defensive end, and he was totally focused on the quarterback. He should have given it off inside to the running back. Instead, he kept it and ended up taking a loss on the play.
Hey, hold on. Stop, yo. Check. Crunch. Crunch.
And despite the late lead, Jackson to throw. Open man is Samuel, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 22 yards there, a 1st down. Their coaching staff, they were pretty adamant beginning of the year. Our goal is to get to the Super Bowl. Well, they made it to the playoffs. That's part 1, but they fall a little bit short.
And to me, once again, it exemplifies just how difficult it is to not just make the playoffs, but to win games in the playoffs. So you can set your goals high, but if anything is off during that time, you have some key injuries or you just don't play well, or you get a bad matchup where that team just has better strength than you in certain areas, this is how it ends. So I don't think it's a total loss of a season, but obviously didn't get where they wanted to go.
So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Ravens are victorious here as we say so long from Baltimore.